Eat it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Maddie. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Today is when I normally would film my TBR for the next month. So this would be my May TBR. And I usually do a game, as you've seen from the last couple of months. But May is a special month because May is when Escape the Readathon happens. And if you're not familiar with Escape the Readathon, I'll link Lexi's video down below explaining everything because she does an awesome job doing that. But it's a competitive readathon that is put on by Books with Lexi. And I joined it last year and it was the most fun readathon. It's a team-based competitive readathon. So there's 4 teams and the idea is to escape whatever you're trying to escape. So last year it was a haunted house and there was 4 different teams trying to escape the haunted house with different rooms and stuff like that. It's a similar format with trying to escape, but this year we're escaping a carnival. So there's 4 different teams to choose from. I chose the game team. I think they're called the Game Jesters. And I chose that for 2 reasons. The first is that that's truly why I go to carnivals, is to play the games. I love playing the games. I love winning the games. I love the little prizes, like the stuffed animals and stuff that you get. My favorite one is like the water target shooting game. That one's really fun. I also like the dart at the balloon throwing game. That's fun too. Yeah, so I love the game. So obviously I wanted to join that team. But then also my friend Sarah from Wicked Reading is a co-host for that team. So obviously I had to join her team as well. So how this readathon works and why my TBR, like picking my TBR is going to be kind of difficult this month is last year you would mood read whatever you wanted to read. And then once you got to a door, you would have 2 different prompts to choose from. You didn't know which was the correct prompt. So you would pick a book towards that prompt, or if the book you were already reading fits that prompt, then you would just continue reading your book. This year, it's a little bit different. So instead of mood reading, there's different rooms, game rooms that you can read towards. And then once you're in that room, then you get the mysterious like 2 prompts to pick from, or maybe even 3 prompts. I'm not sure. And then you just read those prompts. So instead of the mood reading aspect, there's these different like game rooms. So I'm going to pick a general TBR based on those like game rooms because those do have prompts and we already know what those prompts are. So I'm going to have a general like hopeful TBR based on those prompts, but May is going to be a very mood read month for me. I'm really just planning to pick up whatever book I'm vibing with in that moment. I have been like a little bit more structured with my TBRs ever since I've been doing my TBR games. So it's going to be a nice refresher this month. I know I kind of took a break in March from my TBR game as well, but I think this month is just going to be a little bit like unpredictable in a good way. I am planning on vlogging this readathon again. I did vlog it last year. I will link all of those down below if you're interested. I was still pretty new in BookTube, so it'll probably be really entertaining to see me stumble through trying to vlog. I am also traveling this month, so that's gonna be interesting trying to do the readathon while I'm traveling and filming and vlogging, and we're gonna figure it out and we're not gonna put too much pressure on ourselves. So vlogs are coming, flexible TBR. Also, before I talk about the books that I'm planning to read this month, hopefully, I just wanted to appreciate Lexi for like 2 seconds because the amount of work that she puts into this readathon is insane. Like, I obviously don't see behind the scenes at all, but just seeing the quality of like all of the Discord organization and her video that she puts out, I can't imagine trying to organize that many people with such a like well put together structured readathon. It just blows my mind every year. Last year it went so well and everybody always has so many questions and like trying to manage everyone's forms and like I just cannot imagine how much work this is. So shout out to Lexi. Thank you so much for putting this on. It is so much freaking fun, but I cannot imagine the work behind it. So I think that's everything I wanted to mention before I get into my TBR. Let's talk about some books. So like I mentioned, it's going to be very mood ready. I'm going to go through the prompts of each of the like game buildings and what books that I might read for that prompt. But as soon as we get into a building, we won't know the prompts until we're in there. So it's like impossible to plan for that. So I might read all of these books. I might read some, I might read none. And then I'll add a bunch of other books to this as well based on whatever prompts we end up getting while we're in the carnival. So the first prompt is called Good Fortune. And this one is your most read slash favorite genre. And obviously for me, that's going to be horror. So my options are endless, truly. But some books that I may pick up for this prompt are The Warrior Retreat, because that is one of my 12 for 12s. And it's the next one I kind of want to pick up for my vlog. Another option is The Creepers. It is the second book by the author that wrote The Watchers. I don't remember the author's name. Shrine, maybe? Am Shrine? I'm not 100% sure. It's not a sequel. I'm pretty sure it's not a sequel. I haven't finished The Watchers yet, but I already own The Creepers, so planning to read that at some point, maybe this month. And then another one I might pick up is Boys in the Valley, because I've heard good things about it and I'm getting a little bit of FOMO. So those are the ones I might pick up for Good Fortune. The next one is called Unfair Wheel, and this one is the top of your TBR. So a lot of these prompts are open to interpretation. This one I would interpret as like either you're most excited for, or you have like an external reason for picking it up. So like if you're doing a buddy read or a book club or something like that, I would assume that that would be at the top of your TBR. So for me, there's two. The first one is Supplication. This one is 100% at the top of my TBR. This is a new release in May, and I have been dying to read it. It is my most hands down highly anticipated read this year. So I will absolutely, out of all of these books this month, be getting to Supplication for sure, because I can't wait. I've been waiting for this book to come out. So that's the first one. The second one is Boy Parts, another one that I will definitely be prioritizing because I'm buddy reading this with Brooklyn from Brooklyn's Library. So those were the two that are like at the top of my TBR this month. And the third one would be a book club pick for my book club, but I'm going to fit that into another prompt. You'll see later. The next game room is called Foodcore, and this prompt is a popcorn read. So again, open to interpretation. My interpretation of this would be like a fun, like entertaining read, nothing too serious, nothing too heavy, just like a good time. For this one, I have The Last Word. I read No Exit by this author, and it ended up being a 5-star read, which for thrillers, 5 stars is hard to get for thrillers. So I'm excited to pick up another book from them. And The Last Word has really high ratings. I've heard amazing things about this book. So that is a popcorn read because I think it'll be really fun and twisty and fast paced. And then the other book is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I've heard really good things about this one. I have not heard good things about its sequel, but I own it, so I would like to read it. And I don't know much about this one, but based on the title and like the cover, it just seems like it'll be a good time. I don't think it's too serious. So we'll see. The next one is Cutthroat Circus, and this one is a cover that matches any team leader YouTube thumbnail. So I didn't really pick a book for this because if I'm reading towards this prompt, I'm gonna look through the different thumbnails and see. I think this one is really flexible. Like all of these prompts are really flexible, but this one I feel like you could find a thumbnail that matches any of the book covers that you're reading. I think last year when I read for this prompt, I used one of Lauren's thumbnails for A Certain Hunger. No, not A Certain Hunger. House of Hunger. And I mean, I'll put the two on the screen because I thought I killed it with that matching. Maybe it's just me. So this one I'm just going to leave open and see what I feel like reading when we get to that prompt. The next one is Heads Up, which is an author you have read from before. And for me, I have 3 that I've picked. The first one is Indian Burial Grounds, and I have had to try and pronounce that 5 or 6 times. Obviously, you're not seeing it because I'm going to edit it out. I don't know why burial is such a hard word for me to pronounce. But anyways, I read Nick Medina's other book, Nation of Lost Sisters, I think it's called. And I was blown away by it. I had such low expectations. I was like really forcing myself to read it because of the Goodreads Choice Awards. And I started reading it and I got obsessed. And I really ended up enjoying it. So I'm going to pick up their book that just came out this year and I'm going to try it. And then another one is A Court of Mist and Fury, which obviously it's from the ACOTAR series. It is the second book. I read ACOTAR last month and it was fine. I'm interested to see how the second book is. Everyone I have talked to has said the second book is the best book, and all of the comments that I have made based on the first book, people are excited to hear my thoughts on the second book. So I don't know if I'm going to pick it up this month, but it's definitely going on the TBR because I'm going to be reading it soon. So we'll see. And then the third one for this is Devils Kill Devils by Johnny Compton, which I actually have an arc for. I read The Spite House last year and it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I like the writing. So I requested the arc for his new book coming out this year and got approved. So I will be prioritizing that as well. The next prompt is Horsing Around, which is an intimidating read. And again, it's up to her interpretation. So the way I interpreted it, what? Interpreted it. Why do I keep getting stuck on that word? The way I interpreted it, you know what I'm trying to say, was really large books because that is what I find the most intimidating. Subject matter I don't usually find intimidating. Length definitely. So for this one I have two. I have Our Share of Night, which is over there. I have been wanting to read this for a while, like basically since it came out, but I keep putting it off because of the length. And then I've had the audiobook on hold because typically if I'm intimidated by something, if I do physical and audio at the same time, it really helps me go through it. My library has been down for the last like 2 months, and that's fine. Okay, if I don't get my physical holds, that's fine. And if I can't place new holds, that's fine. Like all of that is fine. I can be patient. But it affects Libby too. So I have not been able to use my library physically or digitally in like months. And it's driving me freaking crazy. So I know Our Share of Night is available for me at the library as an audio. And I keep having to deliver later because I can't freaking check it out because of the stupid library thing. So anyways, that's my rant. But I'm hoping I can get the audio checked out. Like I hope my library gets its shit together this month and I can check it out so that I can get to that this month. Otherwise, I might be picking up Jade War, which is the second book in the Greenbone saga. I read Jade City last year. Actually, I think I read Jade City for this readathon, which is kind of sad that it's been a whole year since I'm continuing the series. But anyways, I may be reading that. It's intimidating because of its length. Truly. And it's like highly political. So it does use a little bit of my brain power to like understand everything that's going on. Anyways, those are the two intimidating reads. The next one is Bullseye Battle, which is a new to you author. And for this, I have 3. The first one is Annibot, which is over there. I got it for my book of the month for the cover and the premise, truthfully. And I don't know. I just am interested in reading it. It's pretty short. So I haven't read from that author before. That's a good option for this prompt. The next one is A Dowry of Blood. I've heard mixed things. I mean, most people love it, but I'm pretty sure Mary hated it. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly, but I think I'm going to like it, hopefully. So I have that, and I haven't read from that author before, so that is another option. And then lastly is Diabola. Have not read from that author. It is a new release from this year, and everyone that I have seen has given it 4 or 5 stars, so that's pretty promising. And I'm getting a little bit of FOMO with that one too. The next prompt is No Strings Attached, which is your friend recommends. So that could be like a personal friend gives you a recommendation, or like someone you trust on BookTube or Bookstagram recommend you a book. And for me, I have 2, and they're both on my 12 for 12. So The Warrior Retreat, like I already mentioned, I'm probably going to try and read this month. And then also Escape and Control. I don't have Escape and Control yet. and I don't think I have access to the audio either. So I don't know if I'm going to read that one. I feel like this prompt is going to be easy to read for anyways, because if you watch booktube you could literally watch any video and get recommended a book. So that one I'm okay with not having too many options for. The next one is hard hitter, and that is a 5-star prediction. And for this one, obviously supplication is one, Diavola is another one. Both of those I think are going to be 5 stars for me. And then another one I threw in there because I would like to get to at some point is Piranesi. I do think that's going to be a 5-star read for me. And I have it physically. I borrowed it from my friend and I just have not gotten around to reading it. So maybe this month. We'll see. And then the last prompt is Funhouse, which is a poll pick. And this could be any book that wins a poll. There is a section in the Discord to put a poll out there and have people vote on it to pick your book. But for me, I'm just going to use whatever book wins our poll on Fable for the book club, because that will achieve that prompt. And I have to read that book anyways. So it's a perfect fit. So those are all of my like hopeful TBR-ish books that I want to read this May. Like I mentioned, it's going to probably look very different at my May wrap up. Actually, I don't even know if I'm going to do May wrap up because I'm going to be vlogging the entire time. So you'll be able to follow along with me and I'll keep you updated on how the readathon goes. I'm really excited for May. I truly can't wait for the month to start because this readathon's gonna be so much fun. It was such an edge of your seat experience last year. Like I was always on my toes being like, okay, when are we gonna get through this door? And like, what are the prompts gonna be? It was just really fun. So I'm just really happy that it's happening again this year and I'm really excited to start. I highly recommend you join. Like seriously, why wouldn't you? So I'll definitely link Lexi's video down below, like I mentioned, and she has all of that information for the readathon on her video. Thanks so much for watching. I know this isn't my typical TBR, like I don't have my TBR game and it's not really like a formal TBR, but I appreciate you being here anyways. If you like this video and you want to support my channel, feel free to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you want to see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you again next Friday probably. I've been on my Friday uploads pretty consistently now, so I feel like I can say that again instead of just saying like next week sometime. But maybe it'll be Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe I don't know. But hopefully next Friday I will see you. And until then, I hope you have a great weekend and I will talk to you soon. Bye.